How did Abraham Lincoln make slavery free? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Well, this is my third video, so that's amazing. I made it to 3 videos. I actually did that in one night, in like an hour. Told you I drink. Yeah, need to in these times. It's getting crazy, guys. It's really getting crazy. Listen, you're in the Matrix. It's false. It's fake. I keep stealing the Matrix thing. Look, honestly, you're just asleep right now is what I'm trying to say. You're asleep and you need to wake up. One of the things you need to wake up to is this whole money situation. You think money is real, and it's not real. It's an illusion. It is not real. Right now, me coming through your screen, I am not real. I'm real where I am, but what I'm broadcasting to you is an illusion. What I'm broadcasting to you is an image that has been broken down into information, brought across lines and through the air, re-put back together. Thank you, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And broadcast to you on a screen. It's an illusion. It's an image of what I've previously recorded. Now, it is true, unless it's been edited along the way, but it should be true by the time it gets to you. Hopefully. But again, censorship coming to a city near you very soon. Very, very soon, if not already there. Money is an illusion. It's not real. Let me tell you how money started in America. Why money is such a big deal here. And, obviously across other parts of the world. The reason why money is really important across other parts of the world is because every other part of the world, they have currency, yes. But let's think of it this way. If you had currency and you said to yourself, what if my currency failed? What if my government failed? How could I be assured that my currency would still be good and that I could still promote trade, I could still have commerce with vendors, and that it wouldn't be just enormously inflated overnight? Well, good question. Here's how we do that in every part of the world right now. It's starting to change, but for the past 50 years, this has been the norm. You back your currency with American dollars. Get it? Your country backs their currency with the American dollar. So if that country's currency fails for any reason, the American dollar holds up and they can still use it for whatever transactions they need to take in that country. How could that possibly be a problem? Well, what is the American currency based off of? Nothing. There's nothing. There is no backing for American currency except the confidence of the people. The confidence of the people using the currency. Get it? As long as you put your belief in the currency works. As soon as your belief comes out of the currency doesn't work anymore. Let me try and get that across to you again. So the people in power who wanted to get across to you that we need to make all of you slaves so we can be in power, the way they did that was make currency, and to tell you that the only reason why this currency, which puts them in power, works is because you believe in the currency. There's nothing backing it. There's no gold. There's no silver. There's no vault in Fort Knox. There's no vault. I don't care how many times you watch Die Hard. I don't care how many times you watch Stripes or any other movie that broadcasted gold anywhere stockpiled. There is no backing of gold or silver for the American dollar except the confidence of the people. That's it. Where did the American dollar come from? The American dollar was first printed the same exact year Abraham Lincoln delivered the Emancipation Proclamation. Same exact year. In fact, within like 60 to 90 days of him delivering that address, the first American dollars were printed. Fun fact, number 2, the day Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, he managed to sign, one good law into effect. That was the creation of the Secret Service, which now are the people who protect the President of the United States. But that was not and is not their original intent. Their original intent is to protect the money printed by the United States, also started by, guess who? Abraham Lincoln. right when he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. And here's a good reason why. He thought in his mind it was a good idea. So, pre-Emancipation Proclamation, you got slaves. Yes, you got slaves. And they're terrible. By the way, you still have slaves today, and it's still terrible. We should still be fighting that. It's not over yet. The world still has slaves. But America at this time still had slaves, and it was terrible. They also had mines in other places, and the people who worked for those mines also got paid such a small sum they might as well have been called slaves, because the only way they could purchase products or things to survive was to purchase them from the store, which was provided by their employer, which charged so much for the supplies that it cost more for the supplies and the rent and everything than the actual week's pay, which means they ended up selling their soul to the company store. I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. That rhymed. Anyway, back to good old Abe Lincoln creating that dollar bill. Why was it so important for him to create that dollar? Why did he think it was such a good idea with freeing the slaves and creating the dollar bill at the same time? Well, prior to the dollar bill, if you wanted hay or grain or eggs or milk or whatever, you either had to produce it yourself or you had to purchase it from the county store. But how exactly did you purchase it from the county store? Well, you could show up to said county store with gold or silver, and they would take that in trade as a precious metal trade value, or you could trade the wares you had, meaning you were a tomato farmer and you were going to go ahead and trade off the majority of your crop with his store and a couple other stores in town, and in return they were going to give you credit for purchases you could make throughout the year, and it would all equal out in the end, whatever you guys would work it out between the two of you, girls, gals, whatever. You'd work it out between the two of you, three of you, however many people were involved in it. That's how it worked. Well, you have millions of people who right now have jobs, they do work, they just don't get paid anything because, well, they're slaves. Yeah, and that's terrible. They shouldn't be slaves. They should be getting paid for what they do. They should have value. They are valuable. They're completely equal with the slave owners. That's one of the things I'm trying to get across, is that every human is equal. Every single human on the planet is equal. You are equal. All equal. I don't understand why that's such a big problem. All equal. Anyway, how are you going to care for all people equally? Well, we're going to have to create a system of trade that can be governed local or centrally and distributed amongst the people as needed. Thank you, Barack Obama. Circa 2008, 2016. Anyway, so we're getting ready to free a enormous population of people who, the day after they're freed, could go to work for the same person they worked for before, but how would they get paid? Was he just going to give them a share of the crop and they go down and start trading and selling with it? Well, they could. Yeah, actually, that could work. But no, that probably couldn't work, because apparently that would make too much work for the farmer and the farmhand, and how can we regulate to make sure they're being fair, not giving more to others and less to others, and blah, blah, blah. So here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to issue these dollar bills, and that's what you're going to pay everyone with. You want to be an employer, have people work for you? You're going to pay them with dollar bills. Dollar bill, y'all. Throw it. It's money. It's worthless. It sort of worked. I mean, originally, you did have to hire all these people. It's kind of what you could consider the original welfare. You had to hire all these people. And they absolutely deserve to be hired. They're absolutely valuable. It's not like they didn't do a good job. Obviously, it worked for a long time, right? But here's the problem. And, gosh, I can't get this across enough. I'm not trying to say slavery is okay. It was absolutely wrong. It is absolutely wrong, and it still exists today. And I can't express enough how much we're hating over how slavery existed in America 200 years ago, and not hating that much over how much slavery still exists today in parts of the world. I don't understand how that happens. If you want to get angry about how laissez-faire I seem to be over how slavery happened in America 200 plus years ago, when it still happens today, and no one seems to be very angry about that. and we're all one race, human race, not white race, black race, Asian race, Indian race, whatever race you want to call. It's just human race. That's it. We're equal, same. The only thing we've been really duped into is being equally slaves to money, for one. And I have to get even further into this, but I have to stop for a second. We have to get some things set.